Want to know why Ganesha has an elephant head? Let's find out together. Long, long ago, high on a snowy mountain called Kailash, there lived a kind and powerful goddess named Parvati. She lived there with her husband, the great god Shiva, in a cozy little home tucked between tall white peaks. Shiva often went away for many days at a time, sitting very still on faraway mountaintops to think deep, quiet thoughts. While he was gone, Parvati would be all alone, and sometimes the wind would whistle through the windows and make the home feel very empty indeed. One day, while Shiva was away, Parvati felt especially lonely. She looked out at the snow and wished, more than anything, for a child of her own to hold and cuddle and sing to. So she walked down to the riverbank and gathered soft golden turmeric paste and cool, smooth clay. She sat down and began to shape it gently with her own two hands, humming a soft little tune as she worked. She gave him round rosy cheeks, a little button nose, and two kind, twinkly eyes. She worked for a long time, adding care to every little curve, until at last the small clay boy was finished. Parvati cupped his face in her hands and breathed life into him. His eyes fluttered open, and he looked up at her and smiled. Parvati's heart filled up like a cup overflowing with joy. She hugged him close, laughing and crying happy tears all at once, and she gave him a name that meant he was truly hers. Parvati loved her new little boy with all her heart, and he loved her right back just as much. One day, Parvati wanted to take a warm bath in the bubbling spring near their home. Before she went, she knelt down and looked at her son with gentle but firm eyes. "My darling," she said, "please stand here at the door, and do not let anyone come inside until I am finished. This is very important." The little boy nodded seriously, picked up a small stick as if it were a mighty sword, and stood up as tall and proud as he possibly could. He wanted so badly to make his mother proud that he did not let his eyes wander even once, watching the door with all his attention. Now, it just so happened that at that very moment, Shiva came home from his long, long journey. He had been away thinking deep thoughts for so many days that he did not yet know Parvati had made a son while he was gone. So when Shiva walked up to his own front door, tired and dusty from travel, he was very surprised indeed to find a little boy he had never met before, standing there with a stick, blocking his way. "Let me pass, little one," said Shiva kindly. "This is my home." But the boy did not know this tall stranger was Shiva. All he knew was that his mother had told him not to let anyone in, and he loved his mother very much, so he planted his feet firmly and said, "I am sorry, but my mother said no one may enter. You must wait out here." Shiva was quite used to walking straight into his own home, and he did not understand why this small boy was being so stubborn with him. He asked again, a little more firmly this time, but the boy simply said no once more, standing even taller and gripping his stick even tighter. Shiva began to feel his temper rise, the way a kettle bubbles and rumbles just before it whistles. He was very tired from his long journey, and in that moment, he was not thinking as clearly and gently as he usually did. And in that flash of frustration, something happened that made the whole mountain gasp. The little boy's head was gone. When Parvati came out from her bath and saw what had happened to her beloved son, she was overcome with sorrow. She wept, and her sadness was so deep and so powerful that it shook the mountains and made the flowing rivers grow still and silent. "You have hurt my child," she cried out, "the son I made with my own love and my own two hands." Shiva's anger melted away all at once when he saw how much pain he had caused. He understood now, this truly was Parvati's son, made from her love while he had been far away, and his heart filled with deep regret. "I will make this right," he promised gently, kneeling beside her. "I will bring our son back to you, I promise." Shiva called his helpers together at once. "Go out into the wide world," he told them, "and bring back the head of the very first creature you find sleeping with its head turned toward the north." The helpers hurried off in every direction, searching through misty forests and wide open fields. Before long, one of them came upon a magnificent elephant resting peacefully beneath a shady tree, its great head turned gently toward the north. With care and respect, the helpers carried the elephant's head all the way back up the mountain. Shiva took the elephant's head very carefully and placed it upon the little boy's body. Then, with all his great power, he breathed life into him once more. The boy's eyes fluttered open. He now had big, gentle elephant ears, a long curling trunk, and the very same kind, twinkly eyes he had always had. He looked up and saw his mother and father standing over him, and he smiled his same sweet smile, just as he always had. Parvati laughed with joy and hugged her son close, elephant head and all. She did not care one single bit that he looked different now. He was still her beloved child, made with her love, and that would never, ever change. Shiva knelt down beside them both and said, "From this day forward, this boy is my son too." We shall call him Ganesha, and he shall be loved and honored above all others. Whenever anyone begins something new, a lesson, a journey, a celebration, they shall think of him first, for he will help clear away troubles and open the path to good things. Years later, on the mountain, there was a little girl named Maya who was very nervous about her very first day of school. She didn't know anyone there, and her tummy felt full of fluttery butterflies. Her grandmother lit a small lamp beside a picture of gentle Ganesha and told her his story. Even Ganesha looked different from everyone else, her grandmother said, and he was loved completely anyway. New beginnings can feel scary, but you are loved just as you are, too. Maya took a deep breath, smiled, and walked through the school gates feeling brave and warm inside. Ganesha grew up surrounded by love, riding sometimes on a tiny mouse friend, always cheerful, always wise beyond his years. Even though he looked different from every other child on the mountain, with his elephant head and his round little belly, everyone who met him loved him completely, just as his mother had loved him from the very first moment she breathed life into him. And that is why, even today, families light lamps and offer sweets to Ganesha before starting anything new, a school year, a trip, a birthday, or even a bedtime story. So the next time you begin something new, why not whisper a little hello to gentle Ganesha, who reminds every one of us that we are loved exactly